While my son was helping clear the plates after Christmas dinner, my sister pulled out her phone, recorded him, and posted it online with the caption, "Guess who the future cleaner is?" My parents reacted with laughing emojis. I quietly grabbed my coat, took my son, and left. The next morning, my sister texted me, "My rent transfer didn't go through." "Fix it," I replied. I never thought a family Christmas dinner could flip my whole life upside down, but here we are. And honestly, my hands are still shaking telling this. So let me take you back. It's December 25th at my parents' house. The place smells like roasted turkey, everyone's full, relaxed, and in that sleepy holiday mood. My son Tyler, he's 7, the kindest kid you'll ever meet, sees me starting to clear the table and jumps up right away. "I got it, Mom," he says, smiling like he's just been given the most important job in the world. My heart melted. He carefully starts stacking plates, struggling a little because his hands are small, but he's trying so hard. That's when I notice my sister, Brooke, holding her phone up, aimed straight at him. She's recording. At first, I didn't think much of it. I figured she was just capturing a cute moment, kids helping out, family stuff. So I carried the dishes into the kitchen and kept going. About 20 minutes later, my phone started buzzing nonstop. You know that feeling when your stomach drops before you even check? Like your body knows something's wrong before your brain does. I opened Instagram and there it was. A video of my son, Tyler, my baby, carrying plates. The caption read, "Guess who the future cleaner is," followed by laughing emojis. I just stood there in my parents' kitchen, staring at my screen, barely breathing. The comments were already pouring in. Brooke's friends laughing, cracking jokes. But what hurt the most, what actually broke something in me, was seeing my own parents had reacted too. Laughing emojis. That's when I took my coat, grabbed my son, and walked out without saying a word. Both of them reacted with laughing emojis. Not just one, multiple face with tears of joy emojis. My dad, the one who's supposed to protect Tyler. My mom, who always tells me how proud she is to be his grandmother. They thought it was funny to make fun of a 7-year-old for helping out. I walked back into the dining room. Brooke was sitting there on her phone, smirking. My parents were calmly drinking coffee like nothing had happened. Tyler was in the living room, playing with the toy fire truck Santa had brought him, completely unaware of any of it. "Take it down," I said. My voice was shaking. Brooke looked up, pretending to be confused. "What?" "The video," I said. "Take it down now." She actually rolled her eyes at me, fully rolled them. "Oh my God, it's just a joke, Claire. Why are you always so sensitive?" "It's not a joke," I said. "That's my son, delete it." That's when my mom jumped in. "Honey, don't make a scene, it's Christmas." Brooke didn't mean anything by it. Didn't mean anything by it. She called my 7-year-old a future cleaner and shared it with hundreds of people. Like helping his mom was embarrassing. Like working hard was something to laugh at. And here's the part that really hits me. I'm a single mom. I've been grinding nonstop for 3 years since Tyler's dad walked out. I work as a medical secretary. I make sure my kid has everything he needs. I taught him to be helpful, to be kind, to do his part. And my own family turned that into a joke. I asked them again, all of them, to tell Brooke to take it down. My dad let out this tired sigh like I was the problem. "You're overreacting," he said. "Everyone knows how Brooke is." That's just her sense of humor. That's when something inside me snapped. I looked over at Tyler's innocent little face as he visped. I thought about him seeing that video someday. I thought about the message it would send, that being kind is a weakness, that helping others somehow makes you less. I set my coffee cup down carefully, like I didn't want it to spill, and walked into the living room. "Tyler, baby, grab your coat, we're going home." "But Mom, it's still early. Grandpa said we could watch Elf." "Not tonight, sweetheart, come on." My parents got up. "Claire, you're overreacting," they said. I didn't even look at them. I bundled Tyler into his winter coat, grabbed my purse, and we walked out. Tyler asked questions the whole way home. I kept my voice steady, smiled, told him everything was fine, even though my hands were gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. Part of me wondered, did I overreact? Should I have just let it go, kept the peace? But then the next morning happened. At 8:47 a.m. my phone buzzed. A text from Brooke. "My rent transfer didn't go through." "Fix it?" I stared at that message for a full minute. Here's something I haven't said yet, something that makes this worse. For the past year and a half, I've been paying half of Brooke's rent. Yeah, half, and what came next? Let's just say the helping stopped there. So there I was, staring at Brooke's text like it was in a language I didn't understand. My rent transfer didn't go through. Fix it? No, please. No, hey, sorry to bother you. Just a demand like I was her personal ATM. Maybe yesterday I would have been that person. Maybe yesterday I would have apologized, checked my bank, and sent the money immediately, just to keep everyone happy. But yesterday was different. Claire hadn't just sat there while her sister humiliated her son online while their parents laughed. My fingers were shaking as I typed back. The help quit. I hit send before I could chicken out. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. My phone rang. Brooke, I let it go to voicemail. She called again. Voicemail. Then the texts started pouring in. What the hell does that mean? Claire, this isn't funny. My rent is due in 3 days. Are you seriously going to be petty over a joke? I turned my phone face down and started making Tyler's breakfast. My hands were still trembling as I poured his cereal, but there was this strange feeling in my chest. Not exactly satisfaction, but close. Like I'd finally straightened up, after being bent over for far too long. You think I overreacted? Or should I have kept being the family doormat? Here's something nobody tells you about being the responsible one in the family. You become everyone's safety net. And then they stop asking nicely. They start expecting it. They start demanding it. Brooke is 28, 2 years younger than me. She works part-time at a boutique, or at least she's supposed to. Half the time she calls in sick, to go brunching with friends, or spend the weekend in the Hamptons with some guy she's dating. Her rent in Brooklyn is $1,800 a month. And for the past year and a half, I've been covering $900 of it because she needed help after losing her old job. That was 18 months ago. Me. I work 45 hours a week, raising Tyler on my own, in a modest apartment in Queens that costs less than what I pay for Brooke's place. I clip coupons. I buy Tyler's clothes at Target. We haven't had a real vacation since he was 4, but Brooke gets Brooklyn brunches and designer handbags. My phone kept buzzing, but I ignored it while Tyler and I built a Lego city on the living room floor. He was chattering away about his fire truck, completely happy, and I realized something. This is what matters. Not my parents' approval, not keeping Brooke comfortable. This is my kid. This is our little life. Around noon, my mom called. I almost didn't pick up, but something made me answer. Claire, Elizabeth, what's going on? Her voice had that tight, controlled edge she uses when she's angry but trying to sound reasonable. Brooke's very upset, she said. She says you're refusing to help her with rent. I'm not refusing, Mom. I'm just not doing it anymore. Don't be ridiculous. You can't just abandon your sister. Like she abandoned common decency when she mocked my son in public. Then came the silence. That video was harmless. You're being oversensitive and now you're punishing Brooke for it. That's not fair, Claire. I laughed, actually laughed. You want to talk about fair? Is it fair that I work myself to the bone while Brooke parties? Is it fair that I've paid almost $16,000 toward her rent while trying to save for Tyler's college fund? I make more money than she does because I show up to work, because I'm responsible. When does that stop being a punishment, Mom? My mom's voice went cold. Your father and I are very disappointed in you. Family helps family, that's how we raised you. Yeah, well, maybe you should have raised Brooke the same way. I hung up. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. Tyler looked up from his Legos. You okay, Mommy? Yeah, baby, Mommy's perfect. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember how I said I had someone in my corner through all of this? Someone who actually had my back. My phone rang again, and this time I smiled when I saw the name. Aunt Linda, my dad's older sister, the only person in the family who's ever called my parents out on their favoritism. She lives in Portland, Oregon, but we talk every week. I heard you finally grew a spine, she said the moment I answered. Your mother called me absolutely hysterical. I'm so proud of you. I could cry. And I actually did, just a little. Did I do the right thing, Aunt Linda? Everyone's acting like I'm the villain here, I asked. Honey, she said, you've been the family ATM and emotional punching bag for years. The only villain here is whoever made you think setting boundaries makes you selfish. We talked for an hour. She told me things I'd never heard. How my parents had always spoiled Brooke. How even as kids I was expected to be the responsible one while Brooke got away with everything. How Aunt Linda had tried to confront them years ago and got frozen out for 6 months. What do I do now? I asked. You stand firm, Claire. It's going to get worse before it gets better. She was right. That very evening, Brooke showed up at my door and she wasn't alone. What do you think happened when I opened that door? Let me tell you, I was not prepared for what came next. I opened my apartment at 6:30 p.m., expecting Brooke with her usual pout, ready to guilt-trip me into submission. What I didn't expect. Brooke was standing there with my mom, both of them staring at me like I'd committed murder. Can we come in? My mom asked, already stepping forward. I blocked the doorway. Tyler's doing homework. This isn't a good time, I said. This will only take a minute, Brooke said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. We just need to clear up this little misunderstanding. Little misunderstanding, right? I let them in because honestly, I didn't want the neighbors hearing whatever was about to happen. Tyler was sitting at the kitchen table, buried in his math worksheet, so I asked him to go play in his room for a bit. Is Grandma staying for dinner? He asked hopefully. My mom didn't even look at him. Not tonight, sweetheart. The second Tyler's door closed, Brooke turned on me. I need that money, Claire. My landlord's threatening to evict me if I don't pay by Friday. Then I guess you'd better figure it out. Get more hours at work. Ask your boyfriend to help. I'm done. My mom stepped forward. Claire, be reasonable. Where is Brooke supposed to come up with $900 in 3 days? The same place I come up with it every month, work, I shot back. Brooke's face went red. You're really going to let me become homeless over a stupid video? You're not going to be homeless, I said. You're just going to have to act like an adult for once in your life. That's when my mom dropped the bomb. Fine, she said, pulling out her checkbook. If you're going to be selfish about this, I'll cover it myself. Something cold settled in my stomach. You'll what? I'll pay Brooke's rent since you've apparently forgotten what family means, she said. I stared at her, then at Brooke's smug little smile, and something clicked. You have money to give her $900 just like that. Your father and I have savings. No, I said, my voice sharper than I intended. You have savings. You've always had savings. So why have I been paying Brooke's rent for 18 months when you could have helped her? My mother's face went tight. That's different. You offered, she said. I offered to help temporarily, I said. And you let me keep paying month after month when you could have stepped in at any time. Do you see what I'm getting at? The whole time, my parents had money. They watched me struggle, watched me sacrifice, and never once offered to help either me or Brooke. Brooke crossed her arms. Oh, here we go. Everything's always so hard for Claire. Shut up, I said, surprising even myself with how calm I sounded. I turned back to my mom. I want to know something, Mom. How much do you actually have in savings? That's none of your business, she snapped. How much? My mom and Brooke exchanged a quick guilty look, one that told me everything. We have enough, my mom said stiffly. Enough for what? Enough to have helped you when Tyler's dad left and you were working 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. Enough to cover Brooke's rent yourselves instead of letting me do it. Silence, that's what I thought. I walked to the door and opened it. Get out, Claire. Get it? You can write Brooke all the checks you want, but you don't get to come into my home and make me feel guilty for having boundaries. They left. But not before my mom turned at the door and said, You're going to regret this. After they were gone, I stood there, shaking. Tyler came out of his room. Did Grandma leave because of me, because of the plates? My heart broke. No, baby, no, this has nothing to do with you. Come here. I held him while he cried and promised myself he would never, ever think that being kind was something to be ashamed of. But here's where it gets really interesting. The next day, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I was angry, I was hurt, and I wanted answers. I called my parents' bank. Now, before you judge me, yes, I know this was crossing a line. But here's the thing, I'm on their account. They added me years ago as an emergency contact when my dad had that health scare, and they never took me off. So I logged into their online banking, and what I found, what I found, made everything make sense in the worst possible way. My parents didn't just have savings. They had over $127,000 sitting in their account. $127,000, while I'd been paying $16,000 toward Brooke's rent. While I was working overtime, skipping meals, doing everything I could to make sure Tyler had everything he needed. But that wasn't even the worst part. I started scrolling through the transaction history, and my hands started shaking again. I found regular transfers to Brooke. Not just once in a while, but for years. $200 here, $500 there, sometimes even $1,000. They'd been supplementing her income this entire time, while telling me I needed to help her because family helps family, while watching me struggle and never offering me a single dollar. I sat there staring at my laptop, and something inside me just broke open. Not in a bad way, in a clarifying way. They'd been using me, using my sense of responsibility, my guilt, my desperate need for their approval. They'd been funding Brooke's lifestyle while making me think I was her only lifeline. Imagine what I decided to do with that information. Because let me tell you what happened next. My family never saw it coming. I didn't sleep that night. I just sat at my kitchen table with my laptop, scrolling through years of bank transactions. With every dollar I saw, I got angrier and clearer. See, anger can be a gift if you use it the right way.